Hello everyone, good morning. This is Sage live from 𝐶𝐞 𝐂𝐨𝐷 TV studios in Sydney. And you are watching the early trades. Let's get started with today's market commentary. The S&P ASX 200 is marginally down during the early morning trade today to 7,052.50. The bottom performing stocks in this index are Kogan.com Limited and Blackmores Limited. Kogan.com Limited reported that its EBITDA tumbled, despite gross sales growing by more than 47% and revenue by 65% during the first quarter of the calendar year. Copper-focused Australian miners fall as metal prices slip on China worries. Copper prices slipped on Thursday on worries about China capping commodities, prices to curb inflation, and as investors locked in profits after a rally. AMP Limited is leading the charts after announcing its intention to pursue a demerger of AMP Capital's private markets business of infrastructure equity, infrastructure debt and real estate. The proposed demerger follows a decision by the AMP board to conclude discussions with Ares Management Corporation regarding a potential sale of private markets. The demerger would create two more focused businesses, better equipped to pursue and allocate capital to distinct growth opportunities and realise efficiencies. AMP Limited and private markets. Shares of Accent Group climbed as much as 8.5% to Australian $2.82, a record high on deal to buy apparel retailer Glue Store. Accent Group Limited has entered into agreement to acquire the Glue Store retail business and the wholesale and distribution brands business of Next Athleisure Pty Ltd for cash consideration of $13 million. Liquid natural gas producer Oil Search slides on cut in financial year investment expenditure, weak quarterly results. The company slashed planned full-year investment expenditure by 22%, citing cost savings measures and coronavirus-induced restrictions in PNG. Oil Search lifted March quarter operating revenue 16% on the prior quarter to $301.5 million. Total quarterly production was noted at 6.9 million barrels of oil equivalent to MMBOE, slipped 2.7% on the prior quarter. Looking at major newsmakers, Ava Group's capital light operating model and strategies for delivering positive operating cash flow and EBITDA have resulted in another period of strong growth. Telstra today announced it has secured 1,000 MHZ in the 26 𝐺HZ spectrum auction, investing $277 million to further extend its leadership in the 5G now and into the future. Emeco Holdings expects financial year 2021 operating EBITDA to be in the range of $235 to $238 million. It reconfirms that second half of 2021 rental division operating EBITDA will be broadly in line with the first half of 2021. Iluka Resources said that production of zircon rutile and synthetic rutile fell 22.7% to 125.3 kilotons compared to the fourth quarter of 2020. Iron ore miner Fenix Resources shipped 220,000 tonnes at an average price of $156 per tonne over the March quarter to produce an operating cash profit of $21.9 million on sales of $30.8 million. Looking at overnight market performance, the major US stock market benchmark indices ended lower on Thursday, following reports that President Joe Biden is considering to almost double the tax on capital gains. The S&P 500 declined 0.92% to 4,134.98. The Dow Jones fell 0.94% to 33,815.90, and the Nasdaq Composite dropped 0.94% to 13,818.4. The small cap Russell 2000 was down as well 0.31% to 2,232.61. Biden plans to raise the tax rate on capital gains to 39.6% from the current base rate of 20% to fund social spending, according to a media report which cited people familiar with the matter. The report noted that the federal tax rates could go up to 43.4% for those earning $1 million or more, along with an existing surtax on investment income. Oil prices traded slightly higher as concerns over production cut from Libya offset worries that rising coronavirus cases in India and Japan would cause energy demands to decline. The oil market is reverting back to the equilibrium. However, the realisation that a global comeback in oil demand cannot materialise without a comeback of the world's third largest importer, India, is denting the sentiments. India is diving deeper into a major crisis with coronavirus infections and death toll setting new records every day. The WTI crude oil price rose 0.5% to $61.63 a barrel, and the Brent crude oil was up 0.4% to $65.57 a barrel. Energy producers such as Santos Limited, Oil Search Limited and Woodside Petroleum Limited will be under the spotlight today. The spot gold dropped 0.7% to $1,781.86 an ounce, while silver fell as well 1.83% to $26.09. The gold miners such as Newcrest Mining Limited, Northern Star Resources Limited and De Grey Mining Limited, as well as Silver Lake Resources Limited, could have a slightly weak trade today. On the clean energy front, big carbon emitters including China, the US and India pledged to reduce their emissions at the two-day Global Climate Summit, hosted by the US President Joe Biden yesterday. The event was started on Earth Day and virtually attended by 40 countries to combat greenhouse gas emissions. Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga has committed to nearly double its target for emission cut by 2030. Canada's Prime Minister raised its country's goal to cut of 40 to 45% by 2030 from its previous target of 30%. Brazil committed to becoming carbon neutral by 2050. The US decided to lower its emissions by 26 to 28% compared to 2005 levels by 2025 emission cuts. And thank you for your time watching. That is all for now. Do stay tuned with 𝐾𝐿KINE TV for more live updates. We'll be back with more news and markets, economy and diverse themes, as well as sectors. This is Sage signing off.